What's up, chat? It's not on. It's not been on this whole time. Everyone's just sitting in dead silence. I apologize. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Yeah, a little bit of a short one today, but we got some interesting news from old G-Dub. I'm gonna up my camera here a little bit. I had a reposition for Twitch yesterday. Oh, actually, no, that is not better. That's not better. I don't know what's going on. That's fine. Whatever. We got some interesting news today. And by interesting news, I mean more of the same. More of basically what we've been getting for the last 2 weeks. Which is, look, more Space Marine stuff. You guys didn't have enough Space Marine stuff? Here's some more Space Marine stuff. We knew this stuff was coming because we got some of these models previewed. Most notably, new Cato Sicarius, new Marnius Calgar, but we got the newest data sheets that have been revealed. We get to know exactly what these guys do. A lot of times it's an update to existing mechanics. However, I think there is at least one entry here that makes Ultramarines very interesting. There's also a lot of implications for Marnius Calgar that I'm not super happy with, but it is what it is. We'll talk about that in a sec here. Custodian's friend is seething for sure. Yeah, that's I would be a little interesting as well. I mean, as someone who does not play that many Space Marines, I do have a Space Marine army, but I don't usually play them. It is a little it's frustrating to talk about nothing but Space Marines for a really long time. And then Space Marine players are like, I hate it when everyone gets mad at us for being too strong. It's not that we're too strong or something. It's like, come on, man. You have like so many unit options. It's crazy. I don't know. It's a whole thing. Anyway, totally happy with the Dread Knight upgrades. Yeah. But you got a frag launcher. Jean-Marc, you got a frag launcher. D6 shots, strength 4 AP 0, 1 damage. How are you not happy with that? That's crazy to me that you wouldn't see that as the gift from the Emperor that it is. So let's dive in and talk about these data sheets. There's a new Battle Force Crux Terminatus, I guess. Which has the new Assault Terminators in it. I don't know much about the packaged stuff, but there's new Terminators. I guess it comes in this box that has a bunch of Terminators. So that's cool. Actually might be legitimately good for Emperor's Shield attachment. If you're Emperor's Fist player or Imperial Fist player. I have a video coming out about Imperial Fist this weekend, by the way, so Sunday. We're going to do getting started with Imperial Fists. I think I put together some combos in there that are good for newer players, but also actually like competitively very viable. I think Emperor's Shield detachment with Mass Terminators is actually really good. We'll see if there's any play with them with Connacht Var. I don't think there is. Realistically, it kind of feels like you'd be better off playing Terminators and other detachments if, if you really wanted to play them. Like, I don't know if he's really doing that much for them, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, new model updates for them. And the biggest change here, the biggest update here is that Marnius Calgar can go into Terminator squads now, which you couldn't previously. Maybe that's fine. I don't know. I'm not sure Marnius Calgar is necessarily what Terminators needed.
Ryan G donated $2 through Super Chat.
Thank you for the Super Chat, Mr. Ryan G.
Fist, appreciate you. Smiley face emoji.
Assault Terminators not getting new rules is a crime. Yeah, they are not great. But, I mean, Emperor's Shield does do a lot to make them better. Plus, when it hit and wound on that unit, it's actually kind of insane, to be fair. I think ranged Terminators are definitely better in that detachment specifically, but there are ways to play them. Somebody pointed out that Connacht Var might be good with Lightning Claw Terminators. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But here's the new Marnius Calgar data sheet, as spoiled by Warhammer community. Here's an important thing to note, though. It says here, Marnius Calgar no longer comes with his personal pair of Victrix Honor Guard. It said gains deep strength, the ability to join Assault Terminators. The implication here is that, like we have had in previous editions, where Marnius Calgar has had multiple armor suits, the man's like Iron Man. He likes to suit up. Marnius Calgar is the Barney Stinson of the 41st Millennium. The implication is that he will have multiple data sheets available simultaneously. The reason we say that is because he has this Lord Calgar ability that does not allow your army to include more than one Marneus Calgar unit. Which speaks to me the fact that the Armor of Antilochus here, datasheet, is not replacing the current Marneus Calgar datasheet. It is instead an alternative version of Marneus Calgar. So while you can only take one Marneus Calgar at a time, you still have the option to take either one. Which I think is unfortunate because it entirely invalidates this datasheet. In my humble opinion. We don't have points values for this yet. As far as I know, also they do say it together. Here we go. Yeah, it doesn't replace the former Gravis armor. You can take whichever one you like. There you go. And that's also described explicitly in the rules. Now, we don't have points values, but obviously the difference here is that this guy, his top line profile is identical. It's exactly the same. His weapon profiles are identical. Nothing has changed whatsoever. I'm getting some Wi-Fi hiccups today, chat. I apologize for that. Hopefully that doesn't continue. We did have a Wi-Fi cut last night, actually, like late at night. In the house. The only thing that's changed is that he gains Deep Strike, and he himself is a single entity unit. He's no longer a multi-model unit, or in this version, he is not a multi-model unit. So he doesn't have the Victrix Honor Guard along with him. So the other thing he loses is his 4+ Field O Pain from having the Victrix Honor Guard in his unit, which, in my opinion, means that you'll never play this guy. Him having Deep Strike is cool. It allows him to go into other squads, but it's important to note that Deep Strike doesn't do anything if every model in your unit does not have Deep Strike. So he has a huge list of things he can join, probably the biggest attachment list in the game outside of, like, Inquisitors. But he only actually Deep Strikes if they have Deep Strike somewhere else. So if they're a Terminator squad, essentially. So it's kind of like a whole thing. I imagine that he's going to come in at probably, I'm gonna target my expectations at like 130 to 140 points. If we look at recent Terminator characters, like Canik Var, he comes in at 100. He's not as good in melee. He is not as good at shooting. He doesn't gain UCP, and his leadership ability is not as good. So, like, a strictly worse character is 100 points. So there's nowhere that Marneus Calgar comes in my opinion, at 100 or around 100. I think he's going to be like 130 to 150 points or something like that. Current Marneus Calgar in Gravis armor is 200 points. So, or 180? Did he drop recently? Actually, no. I'm not thinking about it. I think he might have gotten cut in the last update because we can't have Ultramarines not have everything all the time. He is currently he's at 200. Excuse me. I think he just went up. So, for 50 more points, you get 2 more models in the unit, with 4+ invulnerable saves, which is important, and then he gets his 4+ Field No Pain, which basically doubles the survivability of this unit. So I don't. It's bizarre that they I've made videos about this in the past. It's bizarre that they just keep printing different versions of characters that are identical to their previous version, but like mechanically different because of like kind of like RPG reasons almost, right? Like he has Terminator armor, so he gets Deep Strike, but that's the only reason we're giving him Deep Strike. Otherwise, he's identical. If we had made a Marneus Calgar that had like a different leadership ability or something, I think that would be really interesting and cool. But I guess the Marneus Calgar always must give advanced charge and fall back in charge. Okay, cool, man. And instead, we just have these 2 data sheets, but one of them has a 4+ Field No Pain and one of them doesn't. So, I don't know, chat. Maybe in smaller game sizes where you can't fit the full 200-point Marneus Calgar, you can rock this guy. But, like, it's weird. It's such a weird choice to have 2 data sheets illegal at the same time with identical weapons, identical top-line profiles, almost identical abilities, except one of them is easier to kill. Pretty weird, chat. Pretty weird. Gonna laugh if they go to 300. Could you imagine? That'd be insane. Gravis model looks better anyway. Yeah, the Terminator kit, the double Power Fist look has never been good. This might be a controversial statement, but double Power Fist has never been a cool a cool look, in my opinion. And at least the Gravis armor model has the freedom of movement to make it look cool. But, like, I don't know. Old Barney's Calgars have always had this, like, really kind of squat pose, and it always looks bad every time. Trying to find, like, OG Marnius Calgar. They have, it's this one, but the picture's really small. Oh, look at, he's a little baby. This is the original Victrix Honor Guard, by the way. Or the OG. Oh. Yeah. And I don't, it's just this, it's this, like, you can't, because of the shoulder pads, of the power fist next to the shoulder pads, you can't extend your arms. Fists are not, they're like, in order for fists to be cool, you have to be doing some sort of pose with them. And because the fists are so big, you can't do anything with them. So he always has this, like, cinched up, his, like, elbows have to be up in his armpits, basically, look. And it always looks kind of awkward. At least the Gravis armor stuff extended his arms a little bit, but I don't know. It's not great. That's personal preference, I believe, though. So who knows? New datasheets for Cato Sicarius. Now, I actually don't know if he changed it all. Nobody played Cato Sicarius anyway. Oh, he was Captain Sicarius previously. Oh, I guess he is also usable alongside his old ones. He has the Captain Sicarius keyword. Oh, he has the Captain and Sicarius keywords, which means he is identical to Captain Sicarius, the other datasheet. So apparently we get both of them. This one is better in melee. He's basically a blade champion. He's either a 6-3-3 devastating swing, 9 sweep attacks with sustained hits 1, or 5-2-2 precision that you'll probably never use. Being 6-3-3 devastating is pretty sick. The downside is that this profile can literally only ever attach into Victrix Honor Guard. So you can't put him in things like Assault Intercessors to give him wound rerolls, unfortunately. He has lost lead from the front. So previously he used to give you 6-inch scout, or I guess I should say his other data sheet, because he just has 2 now. And this I like. In fairness, this is where I think multi-entry characters should be. He has 2 different abilities based on which version you take. One version only goes to Victrix Honor Guard. It is a beat stick. The other one, and I guess he can be a beat stick because you didn't give him the ability to go into offensive enhancing units. You could dual attach it with a. Well, I don't think you can put lieutenants in the Victrix Honor Guard, actually. So I guess you can't dual attach it with anything particularly cool. Just Barney's Calgar, which is all right, fair enough. But he has lost his 6-inch scout and assault ability, which is actually pretty cool. He kept Knight Champion for Crag, which is a weird reactive move that allows his unit to reactive move if the enemy moves within 9 inches of him, not of the units, of literally only Cato Sicarius. Actually, no, they changed it. His Knight Champion of Crag is different than the OG Knight Champion of Crag. This is confusing. This is why we template rules, chat. Otherwise, we get confusing rules. So the original Cato Sicarius datasheet... I have a hair in my eyes, but I apologize. The original Cato Sicarius datasheet triggers his reactive move off of enemies moving near him himself. This version says this model's unit instead of this model. I wonder if they will update that in an FAQ or something. But otherwise, these 2 abilities, which have identical names on the same character, do slightly different things. That's very confusing. However, the other thing is that he gives you free heroic intervention for 0 CP, which is whatever. That's fine. I do like that his weapon profiles are significantly different, though. I don't think this guy's going to be wildly transformative unless he's really cheap. He can dual attach with Calgar, which is cool, but otherwise he just attaches to Victrix Honor Guard, and that's it. He can't even go in company heroes. He can go by himself, but that's sort of whatever. So, I mean, if you're not attaching him anywhere, you might as well take the other Cato Sicarius anyway, because he at least buffs his unit a little bit more. Yeah, it is a flat 6 reactive move. And to be fair, so here's a funny thing, chat. You want to put on your tinfoil hats for a second. We saw literally the day before yesterday a change to reactive moves. I wonder why. I wonder why they said now at this 11th hour, right, with probably 7 months left in the edition. Well, now we should change reactive moves to clarify whether or not you can reactive move multiple times. It's probably because you can dual attach this guy to Marneus Calgar, and in Tactical Doctrine, reactive move them 12 inches. I wonder if that would be the reason. Maybe. Just maybe. I don't know. But I expect this guy to come in at like 80 to 100 points, and then he's going to inflate the cost of an already expensive unit to basically give them free squad tactics, which... Is that worth it? Maybe. Plus, he's like he hits good. 3 attacks and 3 damage is pretty solid. But I don't know if it's worth the a billion extra points. The reason for that is that we have the new Victrix Honor Guard rule data sheet. So here is where I think things get pretty wild. Yeah, only cabs and chapter masters join company hero. Join Victrix, yeah, for sure. Otherwise you could put him with a lieutenant. That would probably be okay. So the Victrix Honor Guard here seem pretty great. They have, I believe, no, what's the word? They don't have a like unattached clause. So company heroes, if you must attach a capture or chapter master to them. If you don't, they kill themselves. They literally commit suicide before the game begins. The Victrix Honor Guard simply can attach units into them. So they basically become a side graded, I mean, honestly, maybe a little bit of an upgrade to a Wolfguard head taker unit, essentially. So the unit composition, it's important to note, unlike the direct comparison is to company heroes, because that's basically the same reason you're taking these guys. However, the difference is that these guys get to bigger units. They trade every shooting attack, which in fairness is like the company hero shooting attacks are not irrelevant. But they shoot every shooting attack for dramatically superior melee attacks and more survivability. They are 4 wounds with a 2+ armor save. That's insane. That's crazy, crazy good. The other thing, too, is that they're not restricted to only 4 models. They don't have just the 4 veterans, you know, the heavy boulder guy, the ancient guy, the bolt rifle guy, the champion. They have an ancient, a champion, and up to 6 Victrix Guard. So you can have up to 8 in a unit. Even if you have, I imagine the minimum unit size is 4, probably. Well, I guess the minimum unit size is 1. I would be interested to see if they allow you to attach 1 in, because I think that might actually be viable. But I have a sneaking suspicion that you could have, it's probably 4 to 8, if I had to hazard a guess. But I don't know. I don't know that for sure. So they will attach to a capture chapter master, give them -1 to be wounded, the exact same rule that normal company heroes have. In addition, they also have Blood Surge. So if you're comparing them to company heroes or to many of the other kind of like mid-rate melee units, so things like Blade Guard veterans, Wolfguard head takers, these guys are basically strictly superior. They have essentially just better profiles, right? Like a Wolfguard head taker sees this and just like shits himself and dies. What, your base OC2, 4 wounds, 2+ save, and have a Blood Surge move? I get devastating against 1 target in my opponent's army, and I can take a utility unit sometimes if I pay a bunch of points for it. Like the comparison is kind of nuts, and all they give up is 1 melee attack in the comparison to a head taker, which is wild. That I guess gets supplanted if they have the company ancient, but I think the ancient, oh, he doesn't even switch his melee weapon. He switches his gun? All right, okay, who cares? So the Ancient, I guess, gives you a once per game +1 strength and attack characteristic as well. So they go to 6 attacks each, strength 6, AP2, 3 damage. The Champion is 7 attacks, strength 6, AP2, 2 damage, twin linked. It's a lot. It's a lot of damage. You honor the chapter of this unit, you getting hit by Marneus Calgar at the same time. It's insane. It's absolutely insane damage. I would be shocked if these guys come in under like 40 points a model. That would surprise me. And even then, a unit of 4 is almost certainly worth it to attach in with OG Marneus Calgar, because they send the survivability of that unit through the stratosphere. Previously, we were dealing with a company hero squad that was 4 wounds, like 3+ armor, no invulns. You could AOC them, whatever. Now you have the same thing, but you're also dealing with a 2+ armor save that can then, in addition, be AOC'd and Blood Surge to mess up your attacks. So this unit's crazy. It's absolutely wild. 65 points per model with Calgar 200, maybe. So Calgar is 200 right now, for sure. I don't like, there maybe is an argument to play like the big brick where you put like Cato and 8 and Calgar together, but I think it's gonna be too expensive. I think you want to keep these guys cheap and cheerful, and you just vibe off the fact that you have company heroes, but actually just straight up better. And then you're taking old Marneus Calgar with Gravis armor, because he gets his 4+ feel no pain, as he has another Victrix Honor Guard. The 3 wound version, not the 4 wound version, makes him tougher. Like, don't forget, you're also getting 2 4+ invulnerable saves in that unit. You can eat one of them, keep the other one alive, get the 4+ feel no pain on Marneus Calgar once the regular Victrix, the Victrix in the bodyguard unit, are dead. And then, you know, also, so it's essentially just a strictly superior delivery system for him than we had previously. Assuming that the points are right. Now, company heroes come in at like 105, right? 26 points a model or something like that. I imagine these guys are going to be dramatically more expensive. However, like, obviously the benefits are clear. They absorb more of your opponent's shooting with their base, their better save characteristics. They give Marneus Calgar additional attacks, which is crazy. He goes to strength 9, 7 attacks, twin links when he's in the unit. They get, you know, if you're attaching Marneus Calgar, obviously you get 2 extra power weapon, mastercrafted power weapon attacks, so you get 2 more of this profile. Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. This unit's insane. It's crazy, crazy strong. You could maybe just play them with Smash Captains as well, for sure. If they are too cheap, that will 100% be played. I think that we're in on the minimum unit with Calgar. I would be surprised to see, and maybe it's like there is a case where they are costed very high. They also have 2 damage range attacks, and I'm just looking, which I did not realize before. They're AP1 2 damage on their bolt rifles. Sure, man. The entire unit is both the company champion and the marksman from the company hero squad, just stapled together. They have the champion's power weapon profile, but they also have the marksman's gun. I guess they're not devastating, so it's what is it? He's like lethal hits or something. Doesn't matter. It's who cares? The +1 strength and attack model is epic hero only, so only 1. Oh, that's interesting. That's a good call out, chat. Yeah, that's fair. The that's good. That's good to note. So the actually interesting design space, actually. So the champion and the ancient have been given the epic hero keyword. So if you include them in the unit, you only get 1 of that. So you can go up to 8 on 1 unit, but the other units are capped at 6. That's really interesting. I actually like that. That's cool as fuck. Not that I think, unless the basic Victrix Honor Guard are very cheap, and we can play a bunch of them as like little melee missiles. I don't know if necessarily you're going to be taking more than 1 of this unit, so I don't know how much that matters. But I do appreciate that you don't have a billion of these activated abilities with like twin link precision weapons in there as well. If they're less than 120 for 3, these replace Blade Guard veterans too. Yeah, I agree. I already think in most instances, a 2+ save and a 4+ invulnerable save, like a 2+ base and a 3+, 4+, 3+ armor, 4+ invulnerable save, are largely identical, right? However, these guys also get the 4th wound, so they are just dramatically more difficult to kill than Blade Guard veterans, and have a I would say they do have a almost strictly superior melee profile. They get an extra attack and an extra weapon skill. So they have to be costed with that in mind. So like, there's no way they could come in under 30, right? Because that's, or 30 or under, because that's just what Blade Guard veterans are, and these are just strictly better. Says on the datasheet maximum of 6 models. Oh, in the unit composition tab. Oh, yeah. Well, fair enough. So you're capped at 6, I guess, regardless. So you can't go to 8 unless you're attaching characters in there, for sure. Bladeguard points dropping coming? No way. There's no way, chat. Absolutely no way. The other thing, too, is that it's important to note that, in fairness, these don't invalidate sort of every variety of Blade Guard you could possibly build, because they only attach captains or chapter masters, right? Unless you have this unit called out specifically, which I imagine they won't, right? Like, basically nothing will have that besides specifically the new Captain Sicarius datasheet. You can't attach things like lieutenants or judiciaries to them. So if you are trying to play combos that rely on non-captain characters, it doesn't work. That said, obviously, we're going to run them with Marnius Calgar for sure. 100% of the time. The subreddit is more concerned with Marnius Calgar being higher top assistant Abaddon. Okay, man. Yeah, good job, subreddit. You've got the right stuff on your mind. So anyway, chats, that's what I want to talk about. I think this new Victrix Honor Guard data sheet's insane. I'm excited to see what the new what their points cost comes in as, because I think that's going to be a big deal. But sight unseen, I think Ultramarine players are largely going to be switching out company heroes for Victrix Honor Guard. I'm also interested to see exactly what the unit size breakdowns are, because I have a suspicion, like, you can take one. It would be interesting if one is allowed. It might be 3 to 6, because you could go like 1 plus the 2 special guys. And if those guys come in at like 120, I think that's really good in comparison to company heroes. You lose a model, but you gain a 2+ armor save, and you gain dramatically improved melee profiles. So I don't know. So we'll see, chat. Nifty Land Raider to reactive into, or a Repulsor, definitely. Yeah, they basically cap at 10 if you have Sicarius plus the Victrix Honor Guard in terms of unit profiles. Anyway, chat. I don't know if there's much else here. 3 or 6 models. There you go. They will be available in the next Warhammer uploads. Downloads drop after the World Championships of Warhammer, which is taking place next weekend. Hope everyone enjoys their time at World Championships of Warhammer for sure.
Ryan G donated $2 through Super Chat. Relook at the Necron stuff if it's in Warcom.
Ryan, thanks for Super Chat. I guess we can. I don't know if there's anything else to say besides what we've already talked about.
Peaches the Destroyer donated $5 through Super Chat. My GH are more points than height. Watch these be cheaper than GH2 Ultras getting some massive love. Also seriously, just gimme 160 point GH.
What's a GH? Thanks for the Super Chat, by the way. More points than HT. What's GH? I don't know what a GH is. Oh, Gray Hunters. Oh. Is anybody worried about Gray Hunters data sheets? That data sheet was dead as soon as it was kept at 10. Is anybody playing Gray Hunters these days? I guess they get like rerolls and stuff, right? On stuff on objectives, but like can't go on any relevant transports. They're too big to spam for utility. I don't know. Gray Hunters just felt like a data sheet that was dead on arrival. Let's see. Oh, I do have new Necrons in the little change log. Exciting stuff. I can't believe they forgot to upload these. That's pretty wild. I just forget. So tired with the macro sites. They're 8-inch scouters. They have the old Nurgling aura. I guess it's only 3 inches instead of 6. But non-monster vehicles get -1 to hit. It's good if you embed them in wraiths or whatever. +1 weapon skill. 2 models in a Canoptek unit. Not ballistic skill, only weapon skill. Great on wraiths. Min unit size is 5 for 85 points, I believe, is what they were in the Munitorum field manual. Can reanimate 1 additional wound within 3 inches. Tomb crawlers. So these guys are units of 2. They are 3 wound beasts. T4, 3+ save. It's an interesting profile. Like a almost heavy infantry beast profile. Okay. They have a 2-shot, strength 4, APT, 2 damage gun. Can they switch it? 1 Gauss Reaper can be replaced with a transdimensional isolator. So either they're twin-linked 1 damage or lethal or 2 damage, no keywords. They have 4 melee attacks. Strength 6. Okay. It's kind of high. Each time a model in this unit, which they can attach, makes a range attack that targets a unit within 12 inches, you can ignore any of our modifiers to the ballistic skill, characteristic, hit, or wound roll. Get wrecked, Victrix Honor Guard. We found your answer. Canoptic Tube Scarlet Crawlers. Start the battle formation step. This unit can join 1 other unit that is led by a Cryptek model. Does that work? If it does until the end of the battle, every model in this unit counts as being part of the bodyguard unit. The bodyguard's unit strength is increased quarterly. Is that what is that the same terminology that Canoptek? I mean, I think it's pretty clear what they mean by that, but it's start of the battle formation step, which it implies that it is before you have attached any units. What the fuck? No, they both say start of the battle formation step. Is that when is the unit attachment step in battle formations? It feels weird. I mean, clearly you're supposed to just do it during the battle formation step. It would be but like the fact that they put a timing restriction on it at all is bizarre. Look at the game sequence rules real quick. Yeah, so declare battle formations is leaders joining bodyguard units is during battle formations. So I'm actually not entirely sure that this ability works as written, but clearly the intention is that they will just join after you have declared all of your leaders. That should be end of the battle formation step. That's bizarre. That's super weird. I don't get it. All right, it doesn't matter. Who cares? So we can join a unit being led by a Cryptek model. It cannot have more than 1 Tomb Crawler unit joined to it, and cannot have both Tomb Crawler and Cryptothralls joined to it. If it does, till the end of the battle, every model in the unit counts as being part of the bodyguard unit. So they are Cryptothralls. Would that have 3 wounds instead of? Oh, they both have 3 wounds. Oh, they're the same as Cryptothralls. Okay. So they're Cryptothralls that instead of punching or protecting the Cryptek, they give you ignore modifiers. I guess they're better. And they have a gun. So they are strictly better Cryptothralls, basically. Unless you're dealing with precision. They're both exactly the same top line profile. Literally identical. So it's either you choose a 4+ field update on your Cryptek to fight counter precision weapons, or you choose ignore modifiers, one or the other. Okay. Seems fine. Ignore modifiers is very good. You'll probably take these guys basically every time. Oh, it's only ranged attacks, though. So, okay. They're physically larger, I imagine? Are they like 40 mils? What does a Tomb Crawler look like, Chance? Are they big? I can't tell. Oh, they look kind of big. Yeah, it looks like they're on 40 mils. I'm looking at them in comparison to Doomstalkers, and they look pretty large. How much big is a Doomstalker? 80 mil? Doomstalker's 100? So this guy might be like a 50. If that's correct. Oh, no, that's a reanimator. Which is, I think, is on a 50 or a 60 or something. Okay, so it's probably 40. T5 has to go to ban Tomb Crawlers from joining. Maybe should. Well, yeah, guys, we found a misworded rule from like 3 years ago. we're gonna retroactively tell every Necron player they lost. Only ranged attacks is right. Yeah, it's like for Necron warriors and stuff, right? Because you can put them in warriors, you can put them in immortals. And ignoring modifiers on ranged attacks is pretty cool. But the fact it doesn't work in melee, I think, does restrict their usefulness quite a bit. But being physically larger is actually a huge advantage to these units because, like, the Crypto Thralls are on like a 32, right? They're little babies. If these guys are at a 40 or a 50, even that extra 1-ish inch of base size allows you to extend the size of your unit even farther. So you can make them bigger for, like, chaining back to auras and stuff. So these guys are probably just better than Crypto Thralls. Plus, you get a strength 6 melee attack instead of, like, strength 4. So, in some cases, they're better. But this ability is pretty niche if you're talking about the use case of Crypto Thrall, or of, Canoptic Wraith specifically. In more range-oriented units, obviously, it's better. And then we talked about this guy hanging out in your back objective and never joining a unit because he has no leadership bonuses. He is a leader, but has no reason to lead anything. Interesting. Good time. They are 50 mil? Whoa, wait, these are 50s, chat? Is it in the CA document? I guess we could just look it up. Or if it's on GW. Let's look at the CA document real quick. If that's 50 mil, that's fucking crazy. That's Biovore level. He's like, what's this guy? Oh, T4, 3 wounds. And you're like, he's a 50 millimeter base spider. He's like the size of a Canoptic spider. Why is it? That's a vehicle. That's an actual fucking tank. Why is he the same size? Or like 10 millimeter smaller base size. And he overhangs the base anyway. It doesn't look like they updated it, so... Nope. Not in the base size doc. Are they really 50 mil? It is 50 millimeters? That's fucking nuts. That's so big. They're like literally twice the size of Crypto Thralls. Okay. That might actually be too big. You might run into real estate issues. That's wild. A 3 wounds T4 for a 50 mil base, like, big thing. You'd be like, that guy's a monster, right? Or like mounted or something. You're like, no. It's 3 wounds. He's a fucking infantry model. My man's got the same defensive profile as a Blade Guard veteran. Oh, okay. Sure, man. Whatever you say, bud. That's so funny. That is the Biovore syndrome in a nutshell right there. That's crazy. People are going to mess that up all the time. Constantly mess that up. Also, 5-inch move. Fortified Votan, strength 5, 1 trigger, yeah. Anyway, chat. So these seem great. I think you're gonna see those instead of Crypto Thralls a lot of times. R.I.P. Crypto Thralls. It was nice knowing you, but it's time for you to be replaced by your slightly superior brethren. We're going to eke 1 iota of mathematical supremacy out of our unit by being a slightly higher strength and having a marginally more effective ability. And then call it a day. Seems fine. Let's go. Beast can move through walls, chat. I have bad news for you. You can go through walls with the beast keyword. That's how, I guess, Wraiths do it. Yeah, that's how Wraiths do it. Wraiths actually lost their ability to move through terrain features. Even though they did it already anyway. In every edition, they just also had an additional ability to move through terrain. So, like, non-wall terrain, but I think they lost that, and they just gained fly. Bring old Crypto Thrall and Field Bane back. Give them 4+ Field Bane. No. Please don't. Please don't, chat. I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. Yeah, swarms can't go through, which honestly doesn't make sense. But I guess the Raptors in Jurassic Park found door handles, and I 100% guarantee that is entirely the reason that Beast can go through walls in GW's mind. All right, chat. Well, I think that's all I had to talk about. I do have a live stream scheduled in a couple hours. We're playing in the GT. I'm playing against Dark Angels. It's a funny Dark Angels list. From Commander Cha-Cha. Path to Victory, by the way, on YouTube. He started posting YouTube content last week. Or he's started again posting YouTube content after a couple months. So go give him a follow. But otherwise, that will be at 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. So about just over 4 hours from now, probably 4.5 hours from now, we'll be live over on the Purple channel. Here's the link. Boop. And otherwise, I have an actual honest-to-God tournament scheduled tomorrow. I'm going to go actually play a tournament for once in a blue moon. I don't have a GT schedule on the weekend. So we'll see how that goes. I don't have any other models prepared besides 6 Greater Demons, so we'll run that back. It's currently, has an astronomical win percentage, so I'll just keep playing it, I guess, until somebody beats it, and I feel sad. But yeah, otherwise... Yeah, I think we're playing Big Demons tomorrow for sure. It's in my case already. I don't even have to do anything. I just have to show up. Ask the judge if I can play my proxies, then call it a day. And then imagine they say no, and I just leave. I just have to walk away, hang my head in shame. So that should be fun. I'll be posting updates about that on the Discord or maybe my Instagram if I remember. And if it's an interesting time, maybe I'll talk about it on Monday. We'll see. Otherwise, I should have a new Getting Started video out on Sunday. Well, Best Armies back on Monday. We'll be back to our regular weekly scheduled show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. I'm not traveling until Thursday for Crucible, for Onslaught Teams event. So I'm going to be, unfortunately, I will miss, I think, I won't. Let's see. World Championships is the week after. So I'll be hanging out for World Championships, which is good. I'll be back before World Championship starts. But it's the weekend, November 1st and 2nd. We'll be over there at Onslaught Gaming GT, and we'll be talking about we'll be watching some Team 40k. The GoFundMe I have, by the way, for those who watched my video last week about my computer pooping out for my live stream computer. The GoFundMe completed. I ended it over the weekend while I was in Tennessee. Because we had reached a goal. I did not need any more donations, but I greatly appreciate everyone who did donate to the GoFundMe. I believe that has cleared as of this morning, which means I'm going to start upgrading my kit. I don't think I'm going to have time to rebuild a new PC before next week, so I'm going to be using the jury-rigged piece of trash that I'm currently streaming on right now, which is currently dropping internet every 15 minutes, apparently. We'll see how that goes, but I have some plans. I've been working with Streamhammer to try to get some new sort of stuff together for team coverage. I should have multiple tables on stream. I don't think I'm going to have audio or anything for them, but I should have scoreboards at the tables, and I should have multiple camera angles for them. So we'll have recorded table as normal. I'm going to be adding new camera angles to the recorded table. I have a new system that lets it cycle through camera angles, which is cool. And so if you watch my Tennessee coverage, I had 2 cameras on that table plus a dice cam. I'm going to move to 3 cameras. There'll be multiple angles on the Patreon one, maybe even 4. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how it works technically. And then I will have pivot cameras on all the other tables with live score sheets. So we should be able to see those tables ongoing in real time. Which will be cool. I won't have player audio on them because I think that's one step farther technically removed than I'm prepared for quite yet. But I do plan to have a far superior streaming schedule setup than I had for previous team events. So we'll see. Has anyone pointed to the Adventurous grants unit deep strike? So theoretically, you could have Calgar lead a unit without deep strike and then grant it with Adventurous. Well, you could do that previously. I don't believe that that's new because Adventurous just gives the entire unit deep strike during battle formation. So he would just give it to Calgar. Yeah. It is during battle formation, so you just declare that you're attaching Calgar, and then you point Ventress at the unit, and he gains a deep strike anyway. So I don't think that changes the interaction there. The other weird thing about Calgar being in deep strike is if you're not running Gilliman as a warlord, Calgar not being on the battlefield doesn't generate command points. So Alcie's in deep strike, like waiting to pounce. He's just not giving you value. It does let you kind of like rapid ingress for free because you rapid ingress him, and then he generates CP the next turn. But obviously, you've lost at least 1 to 2 battle rounds of command point generation. So it's not super efficient to deep strike Calgar if you're already playing Gilliman. Although, like, you could, I don't know, you could like play punchy Calgar where you just like forget the Victrix Honor Guard and you just play melee Calgar where he's just like with a unit of guys that he just hops in and like charges people. But I think if you have a 0-1 Calgar slot, the question is whether or not you take the Uber Calgar that's impossible to kill or the Calgar that's probably cheaper, but is just a regular guy. And I think you just pay the extra 50 points, you cut a scout squad from your army or something, and you take the Uber Calgar that absorbs literally your opponent's entire army for a turn. Because he's so strong. And now that he has a 2+ save bodyguard unit, like what the fuck? He's gonna be impossible to efficiently remove. We're going to be back to OG Space Marines with army, like, phase-wide Armor of Contempt. Old Calgar unit attached to new Victrix is funny. Yeah, for sure. You get 2 different Victrix Honor Guard data sheets. It's, like, next to each other. The old Victrix Honor Guard are, jealously eyeing the new Victrix Honor Guard's, like, 4th wound. They're like, you motherfucker. How dare you? I mean, to carry this fucking Storm Shield around, and you get a 4th wound for free with a 2 damage gun? That's bullshit. As they're, like, schlepping around their big, heavy cape. Ugh, this gig sucks. Assuming Gravis Calgar and his Victrix or Gonner's Exhibition, almost certainly. I would almost 100% guarantee that they're being legended, for sure. Because that's exactly what we saw in 9th edition. When new Calgar came out, or 8th edition, I think. 8th edition, I believe you could play all the Calgars together, but nobody ever played anyone but Victrix, Gravis Calgar, I believe. But then I think 9th edition, they just cut every single other Calgar out. Because there was a Power Armor Calgar, there was an Artificer Armor Calgar, there was a Terminator Armor Calgar. Those were all legal at the same time. They just axed them all for Gravis Calgar when he dropped. All right, chat. They're in my case, but Inky snuck one out. Inky! She's there, like, sitting on my Great Unclean One. Like, God damn it! God damn it, cat! She wants to play the role of the Great Unclean One. Alright, chat. New Victrix unit is 8 models alone. I thought that too, chat, but there is a clause on the datasheet that says that it is restricted to 6 models. So it's either 4 Victrix and 2 special guys, or it's 6 Victrix is the unit cap. There's a little thing that says you can only take 6 models. It does look like it's 8, but that is misleading. Minimum unit size is 3. They said in the article. That'll be in the Munitorum in November when it comes out. So we'll see those guys available for match play in like 2 weeks, I guess. Oh man, when was the last time I washed Inky? I don't know if I've ever like given her a bath. She's a very clean cat, so I don't know if I've ever like physically bathed her. I groom her like literally constantly because she bugs me if I don't. But we do. I've got this like deep root brush thing that clears out dead hair from the base layer, whatever they call that, the down layer, and then she demands brushes constantly. So sure, she's extremely clean. Anyway, chance, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me. appreciate it. I'll be live over on the Purple channel in a little bit. So I'll see you all over there. Thanks for chilling. And keep it classy, folks. Have a good one. Goodbye.